4 Habits of the Stoic Mind. Today on Fortitude through Stoicism, and this is my 365-day journey of implementing the ancient philosophy of Stoicism into the life of this modern masculine man. The quote by Epictetus: "Our rational nature moves us freely forward in its impressions when it, number 1, accepts nothing false or uncertain. 2, directs its impulses only to acts for the common good. 3, limits its desires and aversions only to what's in its own power. And number 4, embraces everything nature assigns it." So if you notice here, Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor, is reminding himself what Stoicism is. These bullet points are helpful to even us reading this thousands of years later. But really, they were intended to be helpful to him. Remember, Roman emperor. Maybe that day he had accepted a bad impression or had acted selfishly. Maybe he had pinned his hopes on something outside of his control, or complained or fought against something that had happened. Or maybe, just maybe, it's been a while since he had thought of those things and wanted a reminder. Whatever the case was, these are his own personal notes reminding himself, getting in alignment with 4 critical habits. So what are they, right? Accept only what is true. This comes down to critical thinking, right? Because what is true is not so easy. There's a lot of misinformation out there. So, number 1, if it's coming from the media or the government, you can almost guarantee that there's misinformation. It's being influenced by something else. Policy, ideology, it's not fact, it's not logic, and it's certainly not the truth. Always remember that. The government and the media absolutely lie. We've proven that. It's a fact. It is indismissible. So you have to source your own answers. You cannot be spoon-fed information and accept it for what it is. So number 1, accept only what is true. That takes some digging, it takes some work. It takes you some time to step outside your comfort zone and out of your own ideology. This is why I purposely listen to unbiased news. I don't want reaffirming of my own beliefs, and I don't want, complete bullshit. I just want the truth, the unredacted truth. It is what it is. Number 2, work for the common good. Now, this is Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor, not a normal citizen. But isn't it true? I mean, don't we see this even today? California is burning, and neighbors who have lost everything are helping other neighbors, and these firefighters are trying to protect these houses, and everyone is working towards this common good. Even in Buddhism, one of the in the Eightfold Path, one of the things in there is only have a profession that leads to good. So I've evaluated myself, right? And because there is a sales component to what I do. But what I do professionally is I improve the lives of these business owners. I improve the lives of their team members and all the families associated with that. That's a huge responsibility, and I believe that is in the interest of the common good. Number 3, match our needs and wants with what is in our control. I say it all the time. I want a 14-inch ding-a-ling, right? Don't have one. It's not within my control, right? I have what I have. It is what it is. I use that as a joke, but it is true, because if we're talking about things in our life, our needs and wants, and what is in our control. Our occupation is in our control. It's really only in our mindset. So it's our level of happiness, contentment, acceptance. That's the only thing that's really in our control. And then 4, embrace what nature has in store for us. And they use this term nature, but it's really, what they're talking about is fate, right? So you have to embrace the hand that is dealt to you. Now, we talked about this a little bit before. I can accept the fact that I have poor emotional response, but I can't accept the fact that I'm going to leave it that way, right? So, yes, I'm embracing what nature has given me and what nature has in store for me, but I'm also focused on the things that I can control, right? And so again, these are 4 habits of the Stoic mind. Just like Marcus Aurelius, who was a practicing Stoic, and again, he didn't announce himself as this. He used this tool to be the best man and emperor that he could be. Just like I am using bits and pieces of this to become a better man. Just like Marcus Aurelius, I have to remind myself of those lessons, my daily disciplines, my 10 commandments. I do this with a lot of the things that I learned because it's reinforcing the lessons. And sometimes in the noise of life, some of these things get muted out. And that's why we need that constant reminder, right? Because it's the consistency that leads to improvement in our lives. It's consistency that makes all the difference. And guys, I'm still under the weather, so on that, back in bed.